Hi everyone, welcome to DK Talkies, and I am Deepthi. I'm super excited today to introduce our new guest. His name is R Giridharan, and actually, I was reading his book a couple of days back, and somehow I got to know about this author, and I thought, let me just invite him on DK Talkies, and that's his book, Right Under Your Nose. This book is all about intricacies of human relationships, the societal pressure, and everything else that happens around us. And still, how do you find out a way? Is something that we are going to ask today and read this book through the eyes of Mr. Giridharan. So let's talk to him and understand more about this book. Welcome to DK Talkies.
Hi, I'm R Giridharan, and this is my book, Right Under Your Nose. I think this is a unique book in many ways. First of all, it's a complete Indian book for Indian conditions. I have done a lot of research. You wouldn't believe I spent many days in the morgue looking at various dead bodies. I spent time with a snake charmer to see how he milks the venom, how he trains the snakes. A lot of field research has gone behind this. Then this book is again in a tier 2 city, Nagpur. Generally, you find books written in the metropolis or in idyllic villages. It's not like that. It's in a tier 2 city. And this also showcases teamwork and the power of a woman along with a man. It's a team. It's not one great detective and somebody else looking up to him. Like, you have in Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot is the all genius. Sherlock Holmes is the all genius. That's not the way here. You have a man, Vijay, and you have a woman, Padmini, both of them equally good, bringing different strengths to the table. Anybody who has read the book has told me that it's unputdownable once they start reading it. I'm sure you will find the same once you start reading the book.
Welcome to DK Talkies, Mr. Giridharan. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you, Dipti. A pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Thank you so much. All right. So let's talk about your book today. Right Under Your Nose. I'm sure it's a thought provoking title. So, what made you write this book?
Are you asking me about the title or about the book itself?
First, we'll talk about the title and then we'll talk about the book.
Right. What I have always seen in life and experienced is that the answer lies to every problem right under your nose, but you cannot see it. A mush for a man, the mush is right under his nose. He cannot see his own mush unless he looks at himself in the mirror. You also can't see this part of your face, which is right under your nose. You just
So
can't
true.
see that.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it in the mirror or maybe imagine something like that. So answer is here, not accessible to you, but you don't want to see it.
Okay.
And you don't see it. You go around the world and eventually you find that the answer is here. So that's what I wanted to tell all the readers, that the answer lies with you. Just look at it, search for it, you'll get it.
Lovely. Very well explained. So, what actually provoked you to write the book, Right Under Your Nose?
From childhood, I have been reading these mystery books, the murder mystery books, and this is one murder mystery book. The one lament I used to have is most of them are written by foreign authors. Arthur Conan Doyle wrote about the Sherlock Holmes, then Agatha Christie, then you have many, is Nora Roberts, you have many of this. And these are all settings of US, UK, a different setting. And I'm sorry to say, but many Indian authors used to just copy from there, Perry Mason and all that. And they would be made into Indian movies. I thought I will write an original Indian murder mystery, which will be researched completely by me.
Okay.
So that is where the inspiration came, and that was the challenge for me.
Lovely. So I have read this book and I also understand the protagonist in this particular book embarks on a journey of self discovery. And was there a personal experience that you've come across?
I will put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
The characters in a book,
Mm-hmm.
for most authors,
Mm-hmm.
are generally a mixture of many people they meet in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Lot of so the character is never one. It's not as if it is me or it is you or it represents somebody. It represents a whole lot of people whom I have met in my life and whom I have combined into this character. That's one aspect. The second thing, what you have said is very correct. After all of us, as we face situations, we suddenly wonder, am I doing the right thing? Have I been doing the right thing? Should I throw in the towel now? Should I continue to fight? These are the dilemmas all of us face. And the protagonist here also faces the same thing. He's an individual after all. So he will have all these struggles at work, at life, at love. And that's what is displayed in this book as well.
Sure. So, with all the distractions which are there around us, how does this person actually try and expel himself in the whole journey of creativity, which is mentioned in this particular book?
Well, see, distractions will be there. There will be times when you will be distracted. After all, you have to succumb to a distraction once in a while. So it is never a case that you will be in a smooth sailing journey upward, progressing, etc.
Yeah.
There will be blocks, there will be setbacks. You might even go behind because of the setback. You might be stagnant, but you have to lift yourself up, dust yourself. And each time you have to wonder, is it worth going ahead? And what should I do to go ahead? And at one point, you will really have to take a big decision, this or that.
Sure.
Go for broke. And that's the way the protagonist also does towards the end. He goes for broke.
Okay. But the intricacies of life, which have been mentioned in the book, are very different. It's all about self discovery. It's all about looking at all those complexities which are there in the life. And still, like you correctly said, the answers are right under the nose, and we don't kind of find it. Has that ever happened to you personally in your life?
Yes, it has. It has happened quite a few times, because what did happen was there was one occasion when I was looking for some answer to a particular question, to some. I mean, not a question in that sense, but I wanted some guidance. So I searched the net, surfed it, phoned 5-10 people, tried going here, there, and suddenly I found that the person who, in fact, eventually helped me out in that case was living just a block away, and I used to see him almost every other day while walking. And I had never bothered to find out. We used to exchange smiles and maybe a happy Holi or a happy New Year. It never went beyond that, and I found that the answer lay there, right in front of me. And then it started wondering. I started wondering, that answers lie pretty close.
Okay. Great. So that is a great example. Sure, it happens a lot of times with so many of us. We exchange smiles with people, but kind of, we do not really bother to ask them anything else. But then one fine day, we actually feel, okay, no, let me just go and break a conversation now with this person.
Very true, Deepthi. And it so happens
Yeah.
you take a part of the person only. For instance, right now you're looking at me as an author, I'm looking at you as one of the interviewer, but there's a
Sure.
lot more to you than just being the host of the show. And that's something we don't explore.
Yes.
And that's the reason why I think you don't see what's right under your nose.
Absolutely. Now, since we've talking about parts which are not explored well in our life, I'm going to take you through that journey also. This entire creative journey that you've mentioned in the book, did it come to you very organically, naturally while you were writing on it, on this particular book, or was there something else behind it?
I would put it this way, both were there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it certainly was there organically.
Mm-hmm.
I think without that, I don't think the book could have come out. But at the same time, I used to follow one routine.
Okay.
What I would do is, when I'm writing, I would decide that today I'm going to write for 2 hours. When I write, my world will be shut off. because I need my creative juices to flow. So I would have a routine where I would take a short walk, take a short hot bath, hot water bath. I have believed that hot water baths generally stimulate creative juices in you. That's my belief.
Sure.
No scientific evidence to it. It's just my belief. So I would do these two things and then shut myself off from the world. And I would get to writing.
Okay, great.
So that's how I kept going with it.
Lovely. So, what's your daily routine like?
The writing would not be a part of the daily routine.
Okay.
Especially creative writing would mean that you shut yourself off. But since you've asked me about the daily routine, I generally have some kind of exercise, physical exercise of walking, and intermittently also I stand on one leg. Often, even at work, I stand on one leg.
So, tell us something. How have you chosen the characters in this book?
That took quite a bit of thinking. So I was wondering, how do I cast the characters? Then one thing I wanted to make sure was that it's a pan-Indian character set. So you will see that there is a South Indian. The hero happens to be a South Indian. Then the heroine, if you call the lead female protagonist, is a Jain. Then you have got a Rajasthani there as a police officer. You have got Maharashtrians, obviously, since it is in Nagpur. There are more Maharashtrians, as it should be. The doctor who plays a very important role happens to be a Maharashtrian. Then the one whose character I like the most, although not quite the main protagonist, but I thought I am a bit like that person. And I like that person. Madhukar Dalvi is also from Maharashtra. So I put a lot of people from different parts of the country. That was one thing. Then different ages. The two main protagonists are in their 20s. But the others you will find some are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So across age. So that's how I chose. Because in life, you're going to meet everyone.
Yes.
People older than you, people younger than you, different genders, different places. So that's the way I chose the protagonists.
So, it looks like there is a lot of deep thinking that you've already done for each character, and that's how you placed it so well in your creative thinking while writing. Can you put it like that way?
Thanks for the compliments. That was the attempt in doing it. A lot of thinking had to go behind it.
Sure, great. All right. So, your work has actually touched on the complexities of modern life, is what we understand. So, how do you think societal pressures impact our ability to find happiness and the purpose of our life?
Society starts telling you that this is right, this is wrong, or this is the zone in which you can move, this is the zone in which you cannot move.
Sure.
And society does so for a good reason. That generally, if you go in the safe zone, you're very safe. Harm won't come to you. So people want to protect you. So that is why they tell you that. So that in a way, if you look at it, societal pressure is supposed to help you at least reach a minimum level.
Sure.
But those who want to go beyond the minimum or want to go on a different path, for them the pressure becomes negative. So, for instance, there was a time when people would say join a government job. Then it became join the organized sector. But now people can go in creative sectors, people can start on their own. So when you do something new, there'll be a societal pressure.
Okay.
But what we have to do is, if you have the passion and you have the confidence, you have to resist that pressure, but at the same time, don't get into a negative conflictual situation, because that will add to personal tension. So just keep telling them, yes, I know that you mean good for me, but I think I know where I'm going.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
And
about
that's
it.
exactly what you do, as in to keep yourself away from the societal pressure.
Yes. And this, something I learned over time. Initially, there was a time when I would get angry and hit back and say, "You mind your business, none of your business to tell me." But now I have learned that they don't mean anything wrong to you. They tell you because they are concerned about you.
Yes.
So just
Very true.
reassure them that thanks for all the concern, but I know what I'm doing.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. So, if you could just give us one piece of advice to the readers who are struggling to find the meaning in their lives, what would it be?
I would say take a miracle question.
Okay.
Okay? Just imagine that all the problems in your life are over. What would that life look like to you? Right? And what is it that you want your near and dear ones to say about you? Once you have that, you can describe that. Take half an hour, 1 hour, even days to do that. Once you have done that, you find your purpose in life.
Yes, true.
Do that exercise to know what you will be excited about. Then you will find your purpose.
Okay. Can you also tell us top 3 reasons why one should read a book?
Book gives you knowledge and information. So that's one reason. Second reason is a book enhances your focus and concentration. That's the second reason that you should read the book. Third is this is something which somebody else has put a lot of effort into making. So when somebody has toiled a lot, there must be something worth learning from the toil of that other person. So therefore, I think there are 3 good reasons, Dipti.
Okay, great. So, can you give me one good reason why somebody should read the book right under your nose?
This is an original Indian crime fiction book, as I said. The mysteries are very profound. As I will tell you, a person is shot in broad daylight. And no one can understand why this has happened. 2 people, like here we have 2 glasses of water,
Yeah.
right? 2 people drink the same liquid from the same glass as we have it here. One dies, the other doesn't.
Sure.
And no poison is seen there. So, how did it happen? That's the second mystery in this book. The third thing is a person enters a room, a hotel room. No one enters otherwise. He is poisoned. There is no trace of poison inside. No one entered. So, how did he get poisoned? So, these are very puzzling questions, vexed questions for which the book will give you an answer. So, you should read it.
Actually, the mystery of life. And to find out that mystery, one has to read this creative book, isn't it?
Yes.
Great. Okay, I have a really nice question for you now. If your book was adapted into a movie, who would you envision playing the lead character and who should be the director of this movie?
Director, I think, should be Anurag Kashyap. The lead character, I would want Prabhas to play it.
Okay, great. And why the 2 of them?
Anurag is very creative. So
Okay.
that's the reason. And somehow I'm very fascinated by Prabhas's performance.
Sure.
And I think he fits the age, the facial expressions of Prabhas. Although the movie came around the time when I was writing the book, very much mirror that of my lead character.
Great.
So that's why I think this is the combination I would love. That's
Lovely.
my dream combination.
Wonderful. So I'm sure if they're watching this particular episode, they will kind of give it a thought over what you just said. And I
I would
hope that
love-
happens soon.
I hope also.
Great. So you told us about the actor and the director. What about the actress?
Logically following from Bahubali's Prabhas, I think it would be Tamanna Bhatia.
Okay, great. And why?
I think the combo,
Okay.
The same way as you would want a combination to come anywhere, there has to be a chemistry. There is a chemistry between the two protagonists in the book that might be replicated in the movie if these two come.
Sure, wonderful. I think that's a great combination as well.
Yes, it's a great
Okay, yeah.
combination.
So, what book or author has influenced you the most in your writing journey?
I will say three major authors. One is the Amar Chitakatha Anant Pai. I used to love the simple language that he used. And then the pictures depicted would narrate something which immediately had an imprint on your mind. That was one. Then there is, Agatha Christie, obviously, because I have read a lot of mystery books, Agatha Christie. And the Perry Mason books also I used to like very much. So these were some of the books that influenced me a great deal. So I have read a lot of them in my childhood. And that was the cornerstone. There was one particular book written as The Wildest Tests by Ray Robinson. It's a book on certain cricket test matches.
Okay.
But the language, the description, the vividity, all that somewhere influenced me a great deal. So those are some of the books I think have had their impact on my writing.
What a lovely combination that is. Looks like your intrinsic cognizance is so high that you kind of, have an inspiration from all three of them and you've put that together into your writing, isn't it?
I tried that, and if you felt it, I'm so happy. Dipti.
Great. Nice. Okay, and I'm going to ask you the next question on your writing influence. Have you drawn inspiration from any of these particular writers and you've kind of, taken their stories or their style in approaching your storytelling?
I would say style certainly. Style certainly, because the way the suspense is built, the way the narrative is taken forward, and the way you have highs and lows in a story.
Okay.
A story cannot be going all the time at breakneck speed. So there has to be a stage when you slow down.
Got it.
So when you are slowing down, what do you bring in this story? So that also I learned from these people. How should the structure of a story be? And how should the climax, how should it go towards a climax? So, and there's a Japanese author, Kigo Higashimi, who wrote that book, The Devotion of Suspect. So is another very big influence on me. So how you do all these things, that style certainly had an impact.
Okay.
And the detailing by them, the attention to detail. Where should you give attention to detail? Where should you just let it be on the surface?
Okay.
That's another thing that I learned from these authors.
Great.
But as I have said, the story and the mysteries, the research, all are my own.
Lovely, wonderful. I'm sure, to write a book, obviously there's a lot of research one has to do because your narrative and storyline should be in such a way that there is always some uniqueness that every author is kind of, looking for. And I think even you followed the same strategy, isn't it? Where, because like I said, the title itself, Right Under Your Nose, is a very different title and it's unique too. So there is some kind of uniqueness that's definitely there, isn't it?
Yes, I think every author wants his unique stamp. So, yes, I think I fully agree with you on that.
Great, great. So, what kind of impact or message do you hope readers take away from Right Under Your Nose? And is there a particular interpretation or a lesson you want them to carry with them?
Yeah. First and foremost, what I want to tell them is the value of teamwork. So, generally, as I said, and this is something which I was more influenced by the Japanese book, wherein you have more teamwork. Generally, in the books written by American and British authors, you have one towering hero to whom, or a heroine. Miss Marple, if you take it, though, it's a towering lady protagonist. So everyone is looking at awe at them. They're such a great personality. and they will get everything right. They know everything from the beginning. I didn't want to make such a personality. So, and that's what I want to tell every reader. Don't look at yourself as a Superman or a Superwoman. You have your strengths, great strengths, but you have your frailties. And however good you are, you cannot win a battle alone. So let's weld into a team, and it's the team which will win. That's the first message I wanted to give. And that's why I said very clearly the protagonists, two of them, the male and the female, are equal in all respects. I made them different. Obviously, they can't be like peas in a pod. So the lady brings different strengths of intuition, of imagination, and social skills. Whereas the male brings certain things of rational research, logical thinking, ability to garner evidence, a little bit more patient. So he brings different strengths. So we have to respect the strengths of various people around us, try to get the best, and work as a team.
Okay.
That's the message I want to give to every reader. The second, I've already said, the answer lies right
Yes,
under your
under the
nose.
nose, yes.
The third thing you will see in this book, the general feeling these days is for everything you need high tech and you need big bucks.
Got it.
I demolished both these myths. You don't need high tech because in my book there is no high tech.
Okay, and why? Why is that so?
If you read it, you'll find it. There is no high tech.
Yeah.
And I'll come to the why.
Sure.
Second, there is no big bucks involved. So, imagination is more powerful than high tech or big bucks. And I keep saying this. See, you have e-com. How does the technology come? The technology comes because somebody is imagining something and then working on it. So, imagination is far more powerful than technology because technology is the product of the imagination of somebody. So, focus on your creativity, your imagination. That will trump technology any day. That's the message.
And
I
as
want
a
to give.
result of which you thought, let me just drop uh, everything else, the high tech or the big bucks, and I don't want to involve them in my book at all.
Yes, you will find that it's not involved at all. Very simple things, no technology involved.
Nice. So, do you believe that creative process mirrors life itself?
Here, I will say 50-50. It doesn't fully mirror the life because creativity is taking something from here, something from there, combining them in a unique way. Not necessarily that you will see that in a ready made condition in life.
Got it.
So, creativity is your imprint on the ingredients drawn from life.
Got it.
So,
And how do you navigate the challenges and obstacles of writing? Much like the characters in your book face their own struggles.
the challenges I can tell you are very, very daunting at times.
Okay.
Because I'm not a full time writer, I have my other vocations also. So you have a distraction, then you have to overcome those distractions. I think the key to override any obstacle, there are 3-4 keys for that. One is keep your mental equilibrium.
Okay.
Mental health is exceedingly important. So please be mentally strong, mentally relaxed. Second, physical health is also important. When you're writing, there is great strain on your neck. So every writer, and on the eyes. So every writer has to take care of his neck health and his eye health. Third is you accept that there will be periods of down. You will be down at some time. Accept it. But that won't be for too long. You'll go up also. So be patient during that period when you are down. And as I said, I have a faith that creative process can get bolstered after a walk and after a hot water bath.
Hmm.
So that's my own key and medicine and remedy.
Great.
So I do all these things.
So, how do you have a complete balance between mental and physical health? What is your routine like?
Well, I would say between mental and physical, mental is 60 and physical is 40 if you have to take it, because physical health impacts mental health,
Okay.
but the other way around is much more profound. So, mental health, I do a lot of meditation to keep myself calm. Another thing is I keep introspecting whether did I behave properly at that time or not. I do a lot of introspection on that. Third, I catch myself whenever I think I'm going a little out of control. Like supposing, somebody is very irritating on the road, on the airport, or anything. Just as a surge of anger comes, I tell myself, no, you are not helping yourself by getting angry. And then I work on the voice a great deal. The voice should always be calm, measured, and smooth. So I work on my tone and my voice, and then do a lot of crossword puzzles, sudokus, and I do mental arithmetic. So that's the mental routine for me. Physical routine, there is walking, and there is neck exercise. I stand on one leg
Got it.
even while working. So, what I do in the office is we have a desk job. So, sometimes my colleagues also wonder initially, but now they know I stand on one leg and hold my file like this and work. Standing on one leg improves the strength in both legs and
Very
balance.
nice. And I can definitely, see that the way you're talking, you come across as somebody who's a very calm person and looks like you're also patient all the time. And any kind of situations that come around you, the kind of thinking that you must be doing is next level.
I want to listen. I love listening. So, because somebody else has a lot to tell you. So, if you listen, you learn a lot. So, one of the things maybe why I come across as calm and patient to you is because I want to listen to you. And I always think if somebody else is agitated and you reply, his agitation should not affect you, rather, your calmness should affect him or her. So that's the philosophy with which I try and operate.
Very true. Yeah. So listening skills, is one of the powerful tools to be a good learner as well.
Yes, exactly. Very well put.
Yes. So, Mr. Giridharan, in your opinion, what is the most important aspect of personal growth? Is it all about reflecting on one's past or embracing the future? Or is it all about living in the moment, that is the present?
The past is a guide, and the past is something that we shouldn't disown,
Okay.
neither be ashamed of it nor disown it, but it is a guide and it has happened. So, and the what we have to do is not get lost in the past. You can't get lost in it. So, to that extent, past is the guide and it's going to help you. And the future has to be embraced. To embrace the future, you learn from the past and live in the moment. That's how you reach the future. So for instance, you're driving, you have to live in the moment, otherwise you'll have an accident straight away. But certain actions are done keeping a future in mind. So
Yeah.
you eat this particular thing because it's going to help your health in the future. That's how we have to look at future, connect the future to the present in certain cases. So all three go together according to me.
Okay. So, are you saying it's very situational?
Yes, it is situational because certain times only the present matters.
Correct.
You can't be thinking of a future at a particular point when you're doing your job. I mean, right now you're the host in this. So all your focus is on the present in the interview and for me
Yes.
to answer your question.
Correct.
So
Yes.
we have to focus on the present at the moment. But at some point, we are thinking of the future as a stepping stone when you're at leisure. And past is always there as a guide for you. It's a guide, but don't get lost into it.
Yes, got it.
That's the way I look at them.
Great. So, on the role of fiction, what do you think the role of fiction is in today's world, and how can this book, Right Under Your Nose, help people better understand themselves and the world around them?
The fiction is basically mirrors reality and brings things in a way that we are not able to imagine. So it brings those emotions to the surface which are there deep inside our body and which we are not in touch.
Okay.
So that's the role of fiction. And Right Under Your Nose also plays that role. In Right Under Your Nose, if you look at it, as I said, the various protagonists understand what their role is. So they are proud of the role that they are playing. And they do so with all their heart and soul. And that is what leads to the eventual result and the victory. And they can all savor the victory. The moment you start wanting some more attention, some more limelight, some more reward, when your focus goes there and not at the goal in hand, there will be discontentment, there will be disunity, and the result also may not be optimum. So that's something which I want to bring to all the readers. Second is, there's a saying, I think there's a saying somewhat translated loosely from some other language, that the obstacles may be powerful, but the forces on my side are even more powerful. So obstacles can temporarily, they may be very difficult, but I think, as they say, the tough times don't last, tough people do. So we will outlast the tough times.
Okay, great. Fantastic. So, let's also talk a little more about your personal life now. What are you at a personal level?
Well, at a personal level, as I said, that I am, of course, an HR kind of a professional with L&D, emotional intelligence, conflict management, and as some of the areas in which I do a lot of training on. And I'm also a certified coach and counselor. There's one flagship program that I do. I'm a sports commentator, which I have said I commentate on cricket, on lawn tennis, and on chess as well. So I'm a sports commentator. And me, along with the other very renowned commentator, Sushil Doshi, we do a program called Life and Management Lessons from Sports, where so that's a flagship program that we have. And my wife is an architect, and she has been standing with me everywhere. It's very difficult to be a creative person's spouse, because the creative person is often a little crazy, but she understands my craziness. My daughter is doing MBA. My daughter is also pretty creative in her own way.
Nice.
And she also writes. And she got something published also in a website abroad. So I hope she also goes in that particular journey.
Great.
That's about me then.
Wonderful. Wishing you all the best. And I'm sure your creativity and innovation will take you to the next level. Your simplicity signifies a lot for all of us. And I'm sure readers are going to be very happy, and it's going to be very inspirational for them as well. So it was really nice to have you on DK Talkies. Thank you so much for accepting our invite and making us also a part of this book.
Thank you, Deepthi. And I'll tell you, you were very professional and exceptionally good as a host.
Thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you. So we will be in touch soon.
Sure.
Great. So today we saw how this book, Right Under Your Nose, delves completely around an idea which says sometimes the biggest questions that we have in our mind actually has the answers right under our nose. That simply means the questions that we are looking for and the answers that we already know are right within our eyesight, but they are somewhere hidden. But there is some kind of work that we will have to do to actually dig them up. And today, the entire episode of DK Talkies, which was revolving around how do we find those questions and the answers to those questions, are all written in the book. So, if you want to know how do you do it, obviously you will have to read the book right under your nose. Apart from that, we've also seen how this author has actually kept himself so calm and so patient in despite of the fact that there were so many distractions, and still he was finding out some time to write this book and finally launch it. So stay tuned to know more such inspiring stories, and if you want to know any particular author which you feel you should bring, or rather we should bring on DK Talkies, do add a comment and we will surely get that person as our guest on DK Talkies. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be in touch once again. See you soon. Bye.